If you can believe it or not, Red Dead Online next year will celebrate its 7th birthday, or in other words, it'll almost be as old as the average Roblox player. But despite its age and Rockstar's lack of commitment to publishing major updates for one of their flagship franchises, the community in Red Dead Online is still going incredibly strong, and we're still getting consistent new players logging in who are curious to experience an online world that's unlike anything else in the gaming landscape. Which is why in today's video, I'm going to provide you with 20 tips to help you dominate the world of Red Dead Online. From beginners to professionals, this is the list for everyone, and it will definitely help you get the most out of the Red Dead Online experience, no matter whether you're playing PvE or PvP or a mix of both. The very first thing you need to do as soon as you boot up Red Dead Online is to get inside the options menu and change your game settings so that you have an easier time playing Red Dead Online. I already have a video called The Best Settings to Use in Red Dead where I go over this, but to keep things short here, if you're using auto aim, make sure to set your lock-on mode to wide instead of narrow or normal. Then you should also check the slider for your aim assist strength and max it out if it isn't already. Finally, ensure that third-person controls are set to standard FPS and running mode is set to toggle. Or if you want a more fun and engaging experience, I recommend you go free aim and you'll rank up a lot faster because of the free aim XP you're getting. My next tip here serves as cautionary advice to new players. Often I see people jumping into Red Dead Online thinking it's some kind of free roam deathmatch where they just run around and shoot everything that moves. Well, animals may not shoot back, but players certainly do. And if you run into someone 100 levels or more above you, there's absolutely no chance you're winning that fight as a new player. They're going to have better ability cards, better guns, tier 3 tonics, and several other advantages like dynamite arrows that let them one-shot you without even trying. So be patient, grind out your levels, and unlock those specialist roles. If you really have a PvP itch, you can go into showdowns and play stuff like shootout or gun rush, but I have to warn you here that Rockstar's matchmaking is a little questionable when it comes to the skill and level gap between players in the same lobby, not to mention the horrible connection. As a new player, another thing you should focus on at the start is your tutorial missions in Red Dead Online. Well, I call them tutorial missions because they're actually part of a multi-stage story campaign that introduces you to the world of Red Dead. There are 14 such missions in total, and you're going to be assigned missions depending on whether you choose the high or low honor routes. Upon completion, you'll be rewarded with a one-time gold bonus, which is the main reason to do these story missions. And that brings us to our next point here, two-factor authentication. Did you know that you can go into your Rockstar Games social club account and set up 2FA for a free 10 gold bar reward in game? This was originally introduced in March 2019 as part of a promotional offer, but last I checked, it's still working as of a couple weeks ago. The reward can sometimes take 2 days to be credited to your account, so don't panic if you don't see the gold bars appear immediately on your profile. If you've been doing your daily challenges for a while, you should have more than enough gold to purchase your first role as a beginner player, which should always be the bounty hunter role in my opinion, because it's the only role in the game that pays out both gold and cash. And while we're on the topic of bounty hunter, you might have heard that Rockstar uses a time-based payout system in Red Dead Online, meaning you make more and more cash and gold the longer you wait to complete the mission by turning in your bounty. Well, this is true, but I don't recommend waiting the full 30 minutes because you'll actually lose out on money by doing this. See, the time-based multiplier doesn't scale linearly, and I've already done a video explaining this, but basically, you want to complete your mission around the 12-minute time window for maximum returns relative to the amount of time you've invested. If you waited out the full 30 minutes, sure, you're going to make maximum cash and gold, but you can easily make even more by doing an extra mission or two in that same amount of time. You also shouldn't invest 15 gold bars on the prestigious bounty hunter license if you're a beginner. While this does unlock access to infamous bounties as well as an additional 10 levels of progression for your bounty hunter role after level 20, I would recommend you spend those gold bars on purchasing a new role instead of an upgrade to your existing bounty hunter role. New roles like the collector help you make tons more money by giving you additional sources of revenue, so you don't have to grind the same bounty hunter content over and over, and it's also just going to give you more options in general since you now have a whole new role and new types of content to play instead of just grinding more difficult versions of bounties. And if you are interested in new types of content and have yet to give blood money a go, I highly recommend you visit Saint Denis and meet up with Guido Martelli. This is going to trigger a cutscene here, after which you're eligible to participate in his blood money missions. These are essentially multi-stage heists that work similarly to stranger missions, but they're more exciting than your typical stranger mission, and there is no entry fee. Well, there is Capitale, which is a blood money specific currency, but you will get it by doing the contracts, and it's not something you need to worry about right now unless you're trying to play the blood money opportunities. If you want easy money in this game, truly nothing beats the collector role, because you can make thousands of dollars in a single day just by selling tarot cards, antique alcohol bottles, and bird eggs. Even after the nerf to the diggable item spawns, collector remains the #1 money grinding method in Red Dead Online, and it also has one of the best roll horses in the game, the Criollo. If you're a beginner player, you probably don't have a lot of cash for exotic horse breeds, and you also won't have the level 20 roll horses, but that's fine because the Humble Mustang is actually one of the most well-balanced horse breeds in the game, and you can get it as a rank 1 player. Once upgraded to the max with level 4 bonding as well as the Nakarocha's saddle and hooded stirrups, the Mustang horses will max out the stamina and health bars, and I highly recommend either the Buckskin, the Black Overo, the Chestnut Overo, as well as the Red Dun Overo Mustangs, the newer DLC ones. And like I said, while you're buying your Mustang, you're definitely going to want to equip the Nakarocha's saddle and the hooded stirrups combo, which is going to be the best saddle and stirrup combo in Red Dead Online. Not only will this turn your horse into a racing machine with its speed buff, but it's also going to significantly reduce the stamina drain rate so drastically here that you can sprint across the map with one burst without ever having to stop or slow down. Alright, now that we finished about talking about horses here, let's talk about you as well as your player character. If you're playing PvP and aren't spamming tonics like a madman, you're probably missing out. Even level 1 tonics can make a big difference in a gunfight against other players. Not only do these fill up your health gauge, but they also fortify it, which is the equivalent of adding health and taking it above 100%. With the special health cure, you're going to give yourself a full bar of fortification, and you can tank hits that you would normally get one-shotted by. And that brings us to the next tip here, which is the fence, or more specifically, pamphlets that you can purchase at the fence. There are typically rank requirements for the best ones, and for example here, you can't unlock the special health cure unless you're rank 50 or above. But there are also some other pamphlets that you definitely don't want to miss out on, like dynamite arrows, explosive slugs, explosive express ammo, incendiary buckshot, and special horse reviver. Ammo selection is another thing that you should consider here while playing Red Dead Online. Regular ammo is more than sufficient for normal PvE content, but when you're dealing with humans, you want the good stuff. Express ammo is going to deal the most damage, and high velocity is also going to be the second best for bullet penetration as well as long range capabilities. I would stay away from split point ammo though. The pamphlet just isn't worth buying, unless you want special ammo XP in PvE. Based on my test though, the ammo's broken and it doesn't really provide any of the claimed benefits like increased accuracy or more deadeye over time. Now, since we've talked about ammo here, let's also talk about the guns that shoot them. For me, the weapon of choice here in most close to mid-range engagements is going to be the venerable Lancaster repeater. If you want something for sniping, you should grab yourself a Carcano rifle. Even if its per hit damage is lower than the rolling block on paper, you're definitely going to appreciate the increased magazine capacity as well as the fire rate. When it comes to revolvers, it's all down to personal choice, but honestly, I prefer the LeMat as well as the Navy revolvers. Shotguns loaded with buckshot or explosive slugs are perfect for blowing past enemies in close range, and you can also use them to take down big game. If you want a jack of all trades, grab the bolt action rifle. By the way, I've already done a video explaining my weapon choices in detail, so feel free to check it out if you want a more in-depth explanation on why I picked these weapons here to use. In PvP scenarios, you need a good combination of aim, good ability cards, as well as good instincts in order to succeed in a gunfight. But there are certain mechanics that you can abuse to give yourself the upper hand whenever possible. Most veterans already know about this stuff, but it still might give you a leg up in your encounters against low-level players. The first one is crouching, which reduces your weapon's bloom size, and it also turns you into a smaller target for the enemy. By rapidly alternating between crouching and standing, you can also throw off your enemy's auto aim and give yourself a short burst of improved accuracy. Another mechanic worth mastering is the dive mechanic. It's kind of like the dodge and roll from Dark Souls, and it also breaks your enemy's aim assist. Finally, make sure that your weapon reticle is set to simple rather than the dot, so you can see the bloom shrink in real time and time your shot for maximum accuracy. You can also find this option in the display settings of the pause menu. Next up, let's talk about ability cards here, and which ones are the best. I've already done several videos on my personal ability card loadouts that I use and why I prefer them, but there are several different combinations that you can use just depending on your playstyle. Most folks are going to go with Painted Black as their active card since it's basically aimbot, but you can also choose Slippery Bastard if you like to play a more mobile and evasive style. Cards like Cold-Blooded and Strange Medicine also come in handy if you want to regenerate health in gunfights, and these make you incredibly self-sufficient without having to rely too much on tonics, especially in PvE content. If you're more of a sniper class, you can go with Focus Fire, Sharpshooter, and Peak Condition to delete your enemies from halfway across the map. But whichever set of cards you use to make your loadout, make sure to level them up to tier 3 so that you get the maximum benefits from them. Now, if you want to rapidly level up your Trader or Moonshiner role, just remember that you don't have to max out your goods or make the highest quality moonshine. Just grind delivery and supply missions using the cheapest moonshine or the least number of goods possible at your butcher's table, and you'll still get the same amount of delivery XP. And before you know it, you're going to hit level 20 with all the necessary upgrades, and now you can finally make the maximum amount of money per cell mission with the trader or moonshiner roles. The next tip here is only going to work if you own a copy of GTA Online. There's a custom Navy revolver model that you can get in Red Dead Online, and it's associated with serial killer Edmund Lowry Jr., and it has 67 tally marks etched into the frame of it, representing each of his kills. This weapon comes fully upgraded by default, and it can also be found in the lockbox in Lucky's cabin if you've already solved the Los Santos slasher mystery in GTA 5 Online. My final tip for today's video is a pretty good one as well. First, you'll need to have the trader roll because it does involve the $500 stew pot that you can purchase from Crips, and once you have the stew pot, you can craft superior quality stew, which gives you fortification on all of your cores, health, stamina, as well as Deadeye, and normally these gold cores last for 1 in-game day, but if you make Crips special recipe, these will last for 3 in-game days or close to 2.5 hours in real life. Not only that, but Crips Special Stew will also restore your Deadeye ring passively, making it the best food item you can eat in Red Dead Online. And because you also need the best tonics, don't forget to buy the special health cure pamphlet from the fence. You can easily get all the necessary herbs to craft the level 3 health tonic from Madame Nazar as well. And there you have it, guys. 20 tips to help you dominate Red Dead Online. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced player, or whether you're playing PvE or even PvP, it doesn't really matter. You'll benefit in all areas of Red Dead Online by applying these tips. What I want to know is, do you have any tips of your own that you'd like to share with us? Drop them in the comments below, and if they're really good, I will definitely include them in one of my future videos. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and you'd like to see more of such videos in the future, both for Red Dead as well as GTA, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, adios amigos.